and activities. This is great. I wanted to see more of that. And once that ended, the montage of everything, I wanted more.
We could just start the show from back here.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Don't Tell Mama. As a courtesy to the Wave staff, we ask that you please keep the aisles as clear as possible. And at this time, please turn off all cell phones and electronic devices. Thank you and enjoy the show. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Nancy Witter.
Everyone got their party pants on? Thank you, Colette, for that. Ted said he requested me to also say this. Smoking is mandatory. Taking of photographs is strictly encouraged. And most importantly, no refunds. So it's actually Ted's birthday today. And he is 65 years old, which, for those of you that know Ted, is nothing short of a miracle. And I went to go visit Ted one night. He was very sick in the hospital. Remember, Joan, about a year and a half ago. And I went to visit him, and he had a tube, and he was all quiet. And he could even when he couldn't talk, he was hilarious. Hilarious. So I looked at him and I said, Ted, no one deserves this more than you. No one has drank more alcohol, smoked more cigarettes, eaten less vegetables, smoked more weed, snorted more cocaine, and had more dangerous sex than you, and you're still here. So I met Ted almost 20 years ago, and I kept missing trains back to Long Island. And it was 4:30 in the morning, and I was out with Ted and Ron Poole, and I said, Ron, the next train is at 6:10. So Ted said, why don't you come back to my house? And Ron Poole and I just looked at each other and went like, that couldn't be a good idea. I mean, it couldn't be a good idea. So we finally said, all right. So we go down to West 43rd Street, beautiful building, and Ted goes, come on in. Now, I was fully expecting a 5 or 6 story walk up into a shithole, but it wasn't. So I get up there, right, and it's an elevator building. We go zooming up, there's security. It's a beautiful building. And we get into his apartment. It's overlooking the Hudson River. It's got a balcony. It's beautiful. And it is filled with like lawn furniture. And there was a little thing like my parents used to have, like a little cut glass cigarette holder where they used to put all the cigarettes in, except it was filled with joints. I said, Ted, this is where you live? He said, yeah. I said, this is our new clubhouse. This is where we're coming every Saturday night. And we did. And Ted would stand up here and make friends with people in the audience. And you know, sometimes, Darlene, with comics and Jeffrey Jones, when you get done, they feel like they know you. You know what I mean? You're almost expecting them to ask you for Thanksgiving, you know? And that's how they always felt with Ted. And Ted would say to them, come back to the house. Come back to the house. And we'd be back at Ted's with these strangers from there's a couple from Canada that come back every year. And into my show on December 28th. Ted goes to those things, remember those drunks we met? Go over to the house, and we're forever friends. We are like forever friends. So Ted has a lot of these stories. And he has made all of our lives so much more fun. And I said to him, Ted, you know what? You're looking good, you're feeling good, and I think that we have missed a voice because everyone in the pool party, many of whom are here, David Hodorowski and Richard Green and Darlene and Jeffrey Johns, and we would wait for Ted because it was, he would always say, what's in the news? And I remember going, oh my God, we'd all look at each other. So they would call Ted a comics comic, where we would be dying. Most of the audience would be like, oh my God, that's offensive in 5 different languages. And we would be howling. So I'm just gonna tell you one quick story. On the front page of the Post one Saturday night was a picture of some men from Abu Ghraib, the prisoner of war camp over in wherever, in Iraq. And all of these naked men, they have them piled up one on top of the other in order to humiliate them. And it was on the front page of the news, and that they walked them around on collars and leashes. And every nighttime comic tried to make something funny out of that, and it just wasn't. It wasn't funny. And then Ted gets up and he says, so what's in the news? And we all go, oh no, oh no. And Ted said, did you see that picture of those men? All those naked men, one on top of the other, all naked? And the audience goes like, yeah. And Ted goes, and they call that torture? Send me to that camp. And then he said, and he goes, and did you see how they walk them around in collars and a leash like a dog? Oh, God. It's like the 70s. Who hasn't been led around with a collar and a leash? So I said to Ted, everyone misses your voice of what's in the news today. So I said, you gotta come back and do some of the old things we love to hear and some of the new things that we're not sure we want to hear. But with that being said, there is nothing more fun to do on this particular Saturday night than to be at TED Talks with Ted McElroy and hashtag I won't tell. Come on, Teddy boy.
Let's hear it for Nancy Witter. I'm a bit nervous tonight. I'm as nervous as Anthony Rapp at Kevin Spacey's house. Even though I put hashtag I won't tell, I will. I can tell you right now that I was involved with several of these celebrities that we've been hearing about. But, well, not the cute one like James Franco. I mean, who would bring a complaint against him? Not me. But I was accosted by Bill Cosby. It was years ago. He said I'd read for a small part at his apartment, at his house. And I went there, and he's very strange because he gave me a drink and then a Quaalude, and we all took those. He took uppers, downers. I was like, yeah, okay. Read for the part. And then he wanted me to, he wanted to sit nude while I sucked on his Jell-O pop. It was just too much. I wanted to wait to do the show until I was ready and prepared. I had a whole list of things to do, but I didn't get my hair transplants. I didn't get my butt lifted. I didn't get a lot of things done. But I thought if I don't just go and do it, I'll never get here. So I have cue cards, and I have things written down on them. Not that I'll remember for sure even when I look at it, but I do have cue cards, and I'm only going to look if I can't remember something, all right? So that's the official start. Good evening. My name is Ted. My name is Ted. I'm known as, I used to be known as Old Gay. Things were different back when I was gay. They really were. There were no Supreme Court cases about a cake. Back then. That was not happening. I'm just wondering with those two guys, did you see them on the news? The two guys sued about the cake? Because they were making a cake. And it went to the Supreme Court. I mean, this is, kind of crazy. So I'm wondering if they do win, because the one guy said he was devastated. Oh my God, it was horrible. I couldn't believe he wouldn't make the cake. I mean, he made me look butch. And this guy was arguing about this whole thing, and I was like, do you really, if the Supreme Court forces you to make a cake, and make a cake for them, would you really want to eat it? Who knows what they're going to do to that cake? I would not. I would just go right on. I'll find a baker who will make it. Yeah, it's a very different gay scene today. Even in the other room, I was just looking. There's a poster that says "gay comedy," because back then that was a big thing, that there would be a comedy show with somebody doing gay jokes. And now today it's so totally, it's so totally different. It's unbelievable. Oh, my oxygen. I didn't explain the oxygen to the people. I only need this to breathe. Don't panic. I don't really need it. I can do the show without it, as a matter of fact, if I want to. And, but it's become kind of a prop. But I can do it. I don't need to have it. And see? Today we have role models. There's a lot of gay role models. I mean, if anybody watched New Year's Eve. Anderson Cooper and Andy Cohen. You can't get more gay than that. In my day, we didn't even have gay TV shows. I had Bonanza. I did. That show, Bonanza, influenced me to be gay. It really did. I mean, all these men living out on a ranch, and they had a chance to bring in a woman as a cook, and they brought in a Chinese guy. What were his job requirements? Cook, clean, and sleep on your stomach. Then when the oldest son left home, they could have brought in a woman then. They brought in a drifter named Candy. Take me out to that ranch. All the shows back then, were designed just to fuck us up. They really were. The other one was about bestiality, Mr. Ed. I mean, this guy was up there sleeping in bed with his wife. He'd be like, I hear Ed in the barn, I better go down and check on him. At 3 in the morning, you're going down to check on the horse. And the horse, you walk into the barn, the horse would be like, hello, Wilbur. Did you come to play with my tail again? I don't feel a thing when you're back there. I'm a horse. One of the other shows was Leave It to Beaver. I mean, the mother in that, June Billingsley, would be showing up, making breakfast for the whole family. And with a dress, pearls, high heels, making breakfast for the kids before they left for school and for her husband. We'd be like looking for something to eat in my kitchen. We'd be like, Mom, is there any food? We'd be like, yeah, check the cabinet. There's something new called Pop-Tarts in there. We'd be like, okay. That was so unrealistic, the whole show. And I did think that she deserved to have an Emmy Award. I really thought she should have won an Emmy. To be able to deliver those lines with a straight face. It's like, Ward, I'm worried about the beaver. Who isn't? Leave it to Beaver, that's that. Commercials. I'm watching commercials a lot because I watch TV a lot. When you get old, but they gear them to old people. They know when you're gonna be. They know the old people are watching The Price is Right. We're watching Jeopardy, Wheel of Fortune. So they gear it all there. And the one that's driving me crazy is this Acorn stair lift. Have you seen that one, the Acorn stair lift? This is so that you can stay in your home. You know, you don't have to leave that home. The one with mold and mildew, a roof that leaks and all that. Stay right there as long as you got that thing to get you upstairs to the bathroom. Then they show it, they demonstrate it going up. It goes slower than I pee. I don't think the Acorn stair lift would work. But the poor guy gets on there, gets about halfway up, and they say, but it's so safe because anything, and there's a toy there, that it will stop it. And it just stops. And I was thinking, yeah, now what? I gotta take her crap. I'm only halfway upstairs. I took a stool softener last night. And then you start counting. Let's see, there's 7 stairs I could climb up on my hands and knees. Or there's 5 I could just slide down and have a very big mess when I get to the bottom. The Acorn stair. And now, of course, they came back with a new smoking campaign, no smoking campaign. They've tried everything. Now they're singing. What is that song? They're all singing.
I won't surprise.
I will survive. And they're all out there with their, tossing their cigarettes and what have you. And I just don't, the commercial doesn't grab me. I miss the old ones. The best one was the woman who had the amputations. Remember in the beginning, she was like, I've had 9 amputations. Marie from the Bronx. Remember? I had 9 amputations. I stopped smoking. Yeah, because you couldn't hold a fucking cigarette. Before you stopped. Ancestry DNA. Anybody else going on the ancestry things? No. Yeah. I went on. Turns out I'm 60% Carol Channing. And 40% Tallulah Bankhead. I'm going to tell you a quick Tallulah Bankhead joke. And this is true. She was at the Monkey Bar on the East Side. And she went into the stall and realized there was no toilet paper. So she looked, she saw feet next to her. She said, and this is how she actually told her, she said, oh, darling, do you have any tissue over there? And the woman said, no, I don't. She said, do you have any toilet paper? She said, no, I don't. Do you have 2 5s for a 10? What else? Oh, how could I possibly forget the drugs? All the drugs that I take, there's a commercial for them every day. First, the commercial for the drug, like Lipitor. Then the commercial for the lawsuit firm, the law firm that sued if you took Lipitor. Call Whites and Luxembourg. And I'm like, every time you see it. So now they had one running just recently, and it was the guy. All of a sudden, the guy's like this, looking out at the thing. Do you have a transvaginal mesh implant? And I was like, it was the 70s. Anything possible? I don't think I did. Nancy was talking about inappropriate stories that I used to tell. I was lucky enough to be on the pool party shows every Saturday night, and to get up there, and whatever happened that week, try to make it funny. Because of course everything is funny in time, but some things need more time.